massive market crash that we have incoming with these new packs that 2K's just released. So 2K has just released these best of 2K packs with a lot of the big cards in there. There's also a lot of junk too. So this is going to cause a massive market crash in a lot of ways. I already see certain cards plummeting, like Lamar Odom, who was shooting up to the high 70s, and some people were starting to unload him for 100K. Odom has already shot down to 60K on buyout, and these cards have just hit the market. So the good news is, so the bad news is, if you were holding on to some of those cards in order to get rid of them, you might have just missed out on it. So for instance, if I'd been holding on to Wilt Chamberlain, I'd be screwed right now because that card's going to go even lower than it was when it came out for the locker code. And if you have your Derrick Rose on auction, you might have gotten lucky. There's a few left up there for about 400K. I would imagine that he's going to auction somewhat for less, even though he is still arguably the best point guard in the game. So he's a major pull if you can get him. This Iverson, I would say, is almost definitely going to come down. Chris Bosh has already come way down. He'll probably be on buyout, and he's probably one of the best cards you can get off of buyout. He's a athletic, great shooting, great defensive center. He's definitely, at this point in the game, a meta center in the game. And going forward, he'll probably still be a meta role-playing power forward, even if he gets outclassed by taller centers who can do everything that he does now, as we've talked about anticipating with this Giannis card that might be coming in. So Stockton already crashed. Bernard King, a lot of people wanted that card because he completes a collection. So this Rashard Lewis came way down in price. Again, Lamar Odom's going to crash, and Paul George may come down in price. That's good news for me, because ideally, I would love to pick up a cheap Paul George, Jimmy Butler, and even Eddie Johnson, and I would probably have all three of those cards on my personal best deck meta cards. This Giannis is totally irrelevant. I think this LeBron is totally irrelevant. Again, it's a card you can use, but whenever you're using this card, you understand that you could have a better card in its place. Like, if you have this LeBron James, you'd prefer to have Lamar Odom, unless you just like the style of LeBron more. If you like driving, Giannis is better. If you like shooting, Odom is better, and Odom also has the passing. Kobe still in that upper meta group, so if you were struggling to get this Kobe, he's probably going to come down in price. That's going to be super great. This Carmelo card is, honestly, he's an elite offensive card, but he has a very high skill curve because of his release. So that's not a great pull. This Kevin Durant card, I think Kevin Durant is not going to be a good 2K, like a great 2K card, until they fix his player model. This John Wall is solid. He's already cheap. He's going to get cheaper. That's really good news for budget squads. But because Oscar Robinson has come down in price, I would just be inclined to get Oscar Robinson over the John Wall. If you're really just going to appreciate the rim running for cheap, John Wall is going to be up there. But I also think that there are some budget cards that do that job pretty well. Whereas if you start to get to John Wall's price, if he doesn't come below 30K, which is about where he was before, you might as well just go in on the extra 20K and get Oscar Robinson while he's still cheap, because he's not going to be cheap. I don't think he's going to be cheap for very long. I think once he's out of packs, people realize how good the card is, and the fact that they need him for Giannis, Oscar Robinson's probably going to go up in price, whereas John Wall's going to keep going down. So if John Wall comes down in price, he'll be a good pickup. Brandon Roy, Luka, Chris Paul, Carmel, these are all completely irrelevant cards just across the board. These cards are trash. So the problem with pulling these packs is a lot of the cards in these packs are going to get cheaper, and ultimately, if you don't pull Derrick Rose, Yeah, it's kind of an L if you don't pull Derrick Rose. Like everything else in this pack is probably better to just snipe on the market. To be quite frank, I think the rest of these cards will all be snipeable, except maybe Derrick. So he's going to cause a massive market crash, and so I would definitely take those cards, and as they begin to fill up the marketplace, start to go in and really look for those snipes, because the good news is if you're a buyer in this market, there are a lot of really, really nice cards that are going to be for cheap. So for instance, Lamar Odom, who is the best card of his type in the game, he's just diving. He's just falling in price right now, down to 60K last I checked, which means people are going to start, like, as they start pulling this card, they're going to start undercutting each other. Look at that. He already down 1,000 from when I started this video. Literally, I started this video, the lowest card was 60K. Somebody already is undercutting for 59. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes full Pascal Siakam and goes all the way down into the 40s. And if he does go into the 40s and 30s, I would definitely say, if you're a buyer, pick this card up. If I didn't ban him from my account, from this account, because I have him on my main account, I don't want to play the same cards in 2 different accounts, I would definitely 100% pick up another Lamar Odom card, because of just how good he is. But I'm not going to run that card, and we can get into why as I give you guys an update on my deck. So we'll go to my team here, go to the Deer Squad. So this is my budget Giannis team, and I gotta say, I'm really, really, really happy with it so far. Actually, let me replace Devontae Graham. Even though Devontae Graham is a really good card, I'm gonna replace him with Norm Nixon to have more slashing off the bench and bring my overall down. There we go. Let's see that overall now. It hasn't gone down yet, but it will. I don't know why it does that. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with this team so far. I'm going to trade out Zerbiak for a cheaper shooter, but I do like the card a lot. Really, really excellent. So the basic concept of this team is the first squad is a Giannis squad, where he's surrounded by mostly shooting, a little bit of extra defensive help over here, and if somebody is playing a card that I need to defend, then I'm just going to swap in Drew Holiday and get extra defense, and this is a nice balance of shooting and defense. And then the second squad is with Kareem, and Kareem also needs to be surrounded by shooting, but we can slide Iguodala into this slot right here, and we get Lonnie Walker in, and here we're playing with a lot of speed, a lot of shooting, a lot of spacing for Kareem. And I've been testing this squad out, and I really, really like it so far. Like, it's just a ton of fun, a lot of good shot releases on this squad, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. And there's some nice options if, you know, I need to shut a card down. I have Iggy and Drew and Giannis and Kareem, and Vucevic is also not a bad defensive card. So there's enough defense on this team that I'm not going to get totally blown up, but I still have a couple of cards on here with a range extender. Wally, again, I'm probably going to trade out Wally for a lower rated shooter with range extender, but like an Evan Fournier, just get that overall down a little bit. But somebody who's going to do the same job for cheap, like a Nick Young, same thing. Nick Young would do that. But yeah, once I trade out this Wally for a cheaper card, I just had Wally in the deck, so I already had the card, so I just put him on here so I could see how the team concept would work, and I really, really love it. This is a great team to run with the Rockets playbook. It's a great team to run with the Bucks or the Denver Freelance. A lot of people really want to go 5 out with everything. I don't think 5 out is the only way to be really, really successful in this game. But for me personally, and the reason I have Andre Iguodala in here over Michael Cooper or other defensive guards is because his ball handling goes up so high. So his next evolution his ball, and it's a reasonably easy evolution. It's a little annoying with the rebounds, but it's not that big of a deal. But once he gets an 86 ball control, I think this is a legitimately good card. He has elite defense, elite dunking, a good shot release, decent shooting, and really good ball handles. So once Iggy gets those ball handles, the thing that's important to me is that once you create spacing, to be able to take advantage of that spacing. You know, because I am a dribble. I wouldn't call myself a dribbler, but I know how to do all of the dribble moves. I know how to do the dribble moves on call in a different situation, which is not super duper common amongst the MyTeam people I've seen play. Maybe there's a lot of people who do it that aren't like posting their videos on Twitch and YouTube, but I've seen a minority of people that have the average point guard park level of ball handles. But that is an important skill set in this game mode for cards that have 86 ball control, because once the spacing is created, especially if people are off balling and they're switching and they're moving around, if you can hit the momentum dribble or the behind the back on call either direction really quickly, or hit the hezzy around screens really quickly, you're in a situation where you can take advantage of the spacing. Whereas if you can't do those moves, you're forced to do certain hesitations and turbo into people. And I'm seeing a lot of it online where people could have scored and they didn't score. So, you know, those limitless range shot release timings, those park style behind the back dribbles. I mean, we don't love that those are the only successful dribbles in the game, so we see it too much. But look, if you're being competitive, you have to use the tools that 2K has made available to you. And as a person who already has that skill set, Iguodala fits me better than Michael Cooper and a bunch of other lockdown defenders who don't have that. And I really love the combination of, if I have somebody who doesn't have range extender, I would prefer that they have clamps, 86 ball control, and the ability to dunk, because that's still a really good card. They're going to be excellent from the corner. The only problem is if they're out in limitless range, I'm probably going to wind up having to drive with that card rather than take the 3, but that's a compromise I'm willing to make, especially on a team that's going to have roughly an 86 rating. So yeah, that's the state of the team now. I mean, we've come a long way in such a short time. Again, partially due to 2K's locker codes and stuff like that they've been dropping, partially due to a little bit of luck with the packs and some decent, I don't know if I want to call them full out snipes. I'm gonna say Gary Payton was a snipe. Gary Payton was a snipe because he was going for 140K when I pulled him for 100K off buyout. So that was, and he has a contract, which also saves me a lot of MT, because I can fill out my roster while doing other goals, and I can use those contracts for other characters. Which, the number one thing that has helped me from my first attempt at my team on my main account to now is to not spend any MT on anything, to always pack MT, to use domination to stack contracts, to use diamond contracts to avoid using contracts. And as your contracts pile up, you spend those contracts preferably on your Evo players, so that they're always gaining value. So Drew Holiday, if I ever sell this card, he's going to be tremendous value. And he's just, because he has a diamond contract, I don't have to worry about his Evo. I just play the card as I would play any other card. And then when he starts to get close to an Evo, yeah, maybe I'll go into a rookie game and make sure I get in, 20 3-pointers or something like that, or 25 3-pointers, to, if that's something that's been lagging behind. But he's going to get those assists naturally. You see, he's already at 100 out of 400 assists, so he's 25% of the way done there. Scoring, super easy. Right now, my focus in the domination games is to explore my playbook. I'm no longer focusing on just evoing, so that's kind of on the back burner. And one more team I'll take a quick look at is my main, this would be my best team I can kind of field right now. Now I could have higher rated cards, but I prefer the balance here. And what's really missing from this team is evoing Andre Iguodala. So that's my next priority personally. I have to get Iggy up to that 86 ball control, because outside of, unless I pulled or sniped the Michael Jordan card, there's no other card that I've seen that does Iggy's job as well as Iggy, which is he does playmaking, he does dunking, he does ball handling, and he does defense. And his shot release is good for a, mediocre rated shooter. And I just love Love, love, love the Iggy card. I know why I don't hear more about him, because his Evo requirements are cruel and unusual punishment, because you have to get rebounds with the guard. And it's annoying enough, like with Dwayne Wade, when they're like, get 20 or 30 rebounds, when they ask you to get, like, literally Iguodala, it's like, I don't know how many rebounds to Pink Diamond. It's like 800, 900, something stupid like that. So that's really unfortunate, because I enjoy the card and I would love to get him to Pink Diamond, but realistically, I'm going to get him to Ruby and then never think about his evolution again. But I'm totally satisfied with that, because I think at Ruby the card is good enough to play with in a main squad. He's fast enough, he defends well enough, he's athletic enough, his dribbling is good enough. He has all of the hallmarks of a good card. So for instance, that Jamal Wilkes, which is a higher rated card, I don't think it's really a better card than Ruby Iguodala. Like, especially when you take into account styles, you know. So we compare them head to head. Now obviously Andre is not evoed, so a lot of these things are going up, but Wilkes isn't a better shooter than Andre Iguodala. He's definitely not a better playmaker, and they're going to be equal on athleticism and defense. So, you know, and Iggy gets a ton of great badges. So I think this is one of those situations where, you know, don't let the card color fool you. And I definitely see Andre in my permanent squad until I fill it out with those elite two-way players. Like we said, Jimmy Butler. On this account, it'll be Jimmy, Paul George, and Eddie Johnson is who I'm looking at now. But the last thing I'll say before shutting down this broadcast is, I think with the release of all of these cards, we're looking at a situation where there's going to be a lot of new good wing cards coming out. 2K, that's the kind of card that they have populated with the most in terms of meta cards. Like, the cards are not, like, no matter what the meta is, if you have over an 86 ball control, if you have gold or better clamps, if you have range extender, and what up, Spac? If you have decent athleticism and you can dunk and you have a good shot release, that's going to be a meta card for the rest of the year. There's literally, the only thing they could do is come out with a card that's too fast. So like a 99 speed Paul George. Like, that's literally in fact, there's two things that can happen. Either a Paul George or a Jimmy Butler that's way too fast could improve the meta for those cards a little bit, or when they put LeBron James at point guard, that's going to change the meta for that situation. But outside of LeBron at point guard, and it depends on which LeBron they do, because if LeBron's at point guard but he's only like a 85 speed, it's going to be good, but I think you can still be fine with like Oscar Robinson and Magic and Ben Simmons and Derrick Rose. Like, depending on your style, you know, you can not go that way. It's not going to be something you have to do. Whereas if you're playing a 5-out style, you have to get Giannis, basically. Like, this is the best. There is no card that compares to this. If you're playing a tall card that can shoot and do snatch back dribbles around screens and then a fast break and go to the basket and play make, you have to have Lamar Odom. There's no other card that does that as well. And even if they come out with a really, really good LeBron James card, he's so much smaller than Lamar Odom. And I highly doubt he's going to have the animations to match Odom's shooting. So Odom is going to be the class of that for a while. Centers still have a ways to go, because until we get Kareem with a three-point shot, aka juiced Porzingis, we're still kind of waiting for the super OP centers. And the same thing with the point guards. While there are some excellent cards at the point guard position, until Oscar Robinson is 6'8", it's not an end of the year point guard, right? Like, there's always that potential for a guard to be better. And also, since Oscar Robinson's not a 99 speed, right? So the thing about the Oscar Robinson card, as much as I love this card, the person he gets compared to the most, Russell Westbrook, is a lot more athletic than he is in real life. So this is where Russell Westbrook might delete this card. You know, because Russell Westbrook just needs a makeable three-point shot, the way Oscar has. I mean, Oscar has a good rating, but he doesn't have range extender. So if Russell can easily come out and be basically an exact duplicate of this card and have 99s over here and have the slashing and, you know, everything else. So, yeah, and Russell is a reasonably big character model as well. So yeah, so that's it for that. Spac, since you're in here, I'm gonna show you my my budget Giannis team real quick. This is what I'm rolling with my budget Giannis team. I actually switched some of this around. Where did my Giannis go? Did I replace him by accident? Oh no, there he goes. So I'm rolling with a starting lineup that looks something like this, or I put Giannis at the 3 and run Bielitsa, and then I bring in Kareem in the second unit, and I run a bunch of shooters, some speed, and some defense. And I love it, man. I tried this team already with the with a couple of playbooks and freelances I really like, and I mean it's fun. I've got speed, I've got shooting, I've got defense. I just love it. I mean, like I said, I love the Vucevic card. I made it live. Been watching all the playbacks. Yo, got the glow. Welcome to the stream. Happy holidays. Oh, dude, I got the Bertans. So, and just as a quick update, I filled out this squad for roughly 10K. And I also do have the Devontae Graham, but I think to lower the overall and to have more of a switch up at point guard, I'm going to stick with the Norm Nixon. And I, to be honest, I just like the idea of playing that Norm Nixon card. I ain't even going to lie. But yeah, this squad is a ton of fun. And for a mere 10K, I already had Lonnie Walker, but I got the Jamal Murray. I also got Devontae Graham. I picked up Bertans and Vucevic, all collectively for 10K. I already had Zerbiak. I'm going to replace Zerbiak with a cheaper shooter like Swaggy P, somebody like that. When they come, and now that those other packs are out, all of those cards are going to crash. Have I used the reward Norm Nixon? I think I used it on my other account. Is he good? Because what I love about this Norm Nixon, I don't know if you saw my Kareem video. I love that he's at 85 overall. What's the other Norm Nixon? Which reward is he in? I don't remember. It's in the Amis. So I just started unlocking the Amis, so I definitely haven't used him on this account. I've really got my eyes. Well, I had my eyes on that Rudy Gay, but at this point, I've kind of filled that slot. Okay, Norm Nixon. Let's see. So the thing I don't like about him already is he's a 91, so his rating's too high. What I love about the Norm Nixon that I have is his rating is so low. Like he's an 86. This is a good card. Don't get me wrong, but if I'm gonna use an Amethyst, I'm gonna go another direction. Let me look at his badges. Love the Floor General and Dimer and Clamps though. Like that's awesome. This is actually a really solid card, man. This is really. I think people are sleeping on Norm Nixon in general, but the fact that you get this card at an 86 overall, I think makes the 86 much more valuable. Because the card is basically exactly the same. I don't even know what's different. Like looking at a glance, let me take a look. Yeah, I think this Norm Nixon is a real gem, man. He must be slower, right? So he goes from an 86 to 88 to an 86 ball handle. No, he's the same speed. No, this card is just better. I would always run this one and lower that overall. Because the matchmaking bump that you get is totally worth it. And I love this Bielitsa, man. Like I played with the Ruby one. I have the Ruby one, and his slow release doesn't bother me because the whole point is to have a range extender, you know. And he has just such a makeable release, and he plays like surprisingly better defense than his statistics would indicate. Obviously, this Lonnie Walker card is a monster. I mean, the speed ratings on this card are just incredible, and I love the idea that when I'm running with the Kareem side of this team, so I'm running with Kareem, Bert, Iggy. And with my point guards, it's a matchup based thing, right? So if I need more speed, I'll run with Norm, speed and slashing. If I need defense, I'll run with Drew. And if I need shooting, I'll run with Jamal. I really like that setup. But with this setup, I have so much speed in this lineup with the shooting, because everybody can shoot. Even though Iggy's not a shooter, he can still shoot. Again, keep in mind this is Iggy with the next evolution. Iggy pops at the next evolution. That's when he becomes a good card. So I have to evolve the Iggy one more time. He's not super duper far off. This is all like the assists I can do in a game or two. The points I can do in a game or two. It's the rebounds. It's just waiting on those rebounds to kind of pile up. I just rather let them pile up passively. But yeah, once the Iggy is evolved, I love this team right here. This is a ton of fun. So I basically run a Giannis setup and a Kareem setup, and it's super duper fun. So the thing about that my main squad needs is all of these garbage wings have to get replaced with Jimmy Butler, Eddie Johnson, and Paul George. That happens, I think this squad is meta. So we lose Iggy, we lose Michael Redd, we lose Wally, and we replace them with those cards. Obviously, we're locked in at center over here with Kareem and Vucevic. And yeah, that's pretty much my team. Gary Payton wouldn't be on here either. He's just a placeholder. Porzingis is also just a placeholder. So this squad has a little bit of work to go, but because of the market crash, I might do what I really don't want to do and sell that Worthy now just to get the 100K to capitalize on the market crash. And I'll just keep Gary Payton because he has a diamond contract, so he can fill out my roster and allow me to save up on contracts. I'm not really going to use the card, even though I don't hate the card, but he's just not in, he's just not in my long-term plans. I would if I was using a card in this role, I would rather use Kyle Lowry. I would rather look at that Kyle Lowry card and see if I like him. And now that he's going to be dirt cheap, I would love to be able to just buy that card outright just to try it out. But I know his value is not going to go back up. So I'm thinking about it. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Should I put that Worthy on the market now? Because I just feel like if I'm patient, if you look at it, how long is this Kareem box up for? 3 more days. I just think in 3 days, that Worthy's going to shoot up, man. I think the Worthy's going to shoot up. The Gary Payton won't come down. I think the card just didn't pop in packs because between the two, I think Worthy's a little bit better of a card because he's just a really, really solid small forward in basically every category. Good shot release, great defense. He said get that MT. I might do it. I'm going to keep my eye on the market. If prices keep coming down, and I just need 100K MT to get into the game, I'll pop the Worthy. I'm selling every card in the collection except for Oscar Robinson, but it's just a matter of timing. And Norm Nixon. Norm Nixon is staying home because I can't think of a Sapphire point guard that's better than Norm Nixon. If you guys know of an 85 rated point guard better than this, let me know. But I can't think of one off the top of my head that I would rather. Like, he's the only 85 rated point guard I would consider playing. I mean, he's got clamps. He dunks everything. He's got a good shot release. It's reasonably fast. 88 speed. I mean, you know, at the higher levels, obviously, you want your point guard speed in the 90s, preferably, with a few exceptions. But for an 85 rated card, I don't know if there's anything better than that. I think he's actually he's a budget squad meta card. He's not a meta card in main, you know, if you're going for a 96 overall. But I personally, first of all, I find it fun to make the best squad possible at around an 86 rating. That's entertaining to me. That's one of the many ways you can play this mode. That, you know, going for the top deck isn't the only way to play the mode. But also, I think the game plays better when you have role players on the court and you don't have everybody at a 99 speed. You know, everybody with 99 speed, 99 vertical. You just started. You pulled a T-Mac off a single pack and you sold him. Now you need to see what players to get. Yeah, got the glow. First of all, congratulations on that T-Mac pull. That's a really, really good sell because T-Mac is not significantly better than the cards that you can replace him with for much cheaper, especially now that those good cards are going to be even cheaper. Like Paul George and Kobe are going to be coming down in price. Eddie Johnson, who's probably just as good as all of those cards, is way, way down in price. So yeah, you can replace that T-Mac for a fraction of the price, like literally 10% of um, of what you sold them for, and then the other 90% you can use to fill out your team. So it's all about the style you're playing, man. Yeah, 430K, that'll get you Eddie Johnson right now with 4K to spare. So yeah, I would actually do that if I was you. I would pick up that Eddie Johnson. The only thing I would say is maybe you want to wait and see, what the market does, because we're in the middle of a crash right now, and people are, all of these potheads in the 2K community, they're still waking up. So wait for them to wake up and buy their packs, and the market to get flooded, and see what's that. Am I gonna play any games? I'm not gonna play any games right now. Not right now, not today. I just wanted to. This is just an update video and a market video. I will be playing games in the future. In fact, that's going to be the next phase. So what I was saying, Isaiah, was the first phase was acquiring Giannis, basically. Well, I mean, first phase was starting up the team. We just started this account like a couple of weeks ago. So we come really far and spent very little money on it, and really haven't even played that many games. But just by playing the game smarter, we've already built out our roster. So now that I have a team that I like, and this is a team that I would go online with, the next phase for me is to, well, first I have to I have to take him to Ruby. I have to Evo him to Ruby, and then the team is complete. I have to Evo him to Ruby, and I have to replace Wally Zerbiak. Then this team is actually complete. So after that happens, the next phase is to learn my playbook, so that I have, because when you play competitive games, it's my thing of like, once you have a sense of your controls, you have to have a basic game plan that you're always looking to improve on. So you're not just looking at the fact that you lost and the mistakes that you made, but you're looking at those mistakes and those failures in relation to what the best version of your game plan could possibly be, right? What were you really, if you played perfect, what would your game plan be like? So you have to kind of form a game plan. I have a playbook I really like. I have a game plan I really like, but I have to learn the playbook now. I'm doing that in domination. I just need a couple of days. I'm already 2 plays in. I just need like 6 plays. And once I have those 6 plays, I'm going to iron out the wrinkles in the freelance. Again, it's only going to take a couple of days. And then Andre should be evo'd, and I'll be ready to go online and start to try to break down this mode and figure out how to get good at my team. And obviously, I would love to, at some point in the not too distant future, go 12-0. And the beautiful thing about that is that while I'm figuring out those things, I'm doing more than one thing at a time. So I'm evoing this Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Look how far he is on his evo. Do you start doing Dama or TT mode? That depends on what you want, Got the Glow. So here's the way I would break it down when you first start this game mode. So the good thing about domination is it gives you guaranteed rewards, right? You get a guaranteed amount of tokens, which allows you to build up your collector level, which gives you guaranteed rewards. You get shoes, which is more MT. And you get, obviously, MT from playing the games themselves. So that's really good. The bad part is that to play domination, you need 13 characters worth of contracts, right? So for me, in the beginning, I'm doing a dance of like domination to build up my contracts, and triple threat to use them at the lowest cost possible. Now, my advice with triple threat is to take 3 Evo cards, get diamond contracts on them, and then what happens is once you get diamond contracts on those 3 Evo cards, triple threat is literally, so right here, these all have diamond contracts. So even though I don't recommend taking a highly rated player like Giannis in, especially if you're not used to triple threat and you don't have a system, you might get a cheeseball card that'll ruin your day. But these cards, this mode only makes profit for me. It doesn't cost me any resources to play this mode. So once you have 3 diamond contracts, triple threat is your best bet. The only drawback to triple threat is you're not earning any contracts, right? So even though you're not losing contracts, you're also not earning any. So if you need contracts, that's when you want to play domination. But triple threat is great for everything else. It's great for evoing cards. It's great for building up your MT. It's great for building up your tokens. And let me tell you, when you get like the random splash award of you know, like I got Diamond Nick Nurse, which my squad desperately needed. I didn't have a real coach. You get that Diamond contract from here. You're like you realize you quickly go from not having anything in your squad to being set up. So yeah, I would say definitely triple threat should be your number one focus, but try to get those diamond contracts on the Evo cards that you want to Evo. So you're doing three things at one time. Number one, you're playing a mode that's costing you no resources, super important. Number two, you're learning how to use those Evo cards, right? Like when you play the mode, once you get a lead, learn those animations. You know what I'm saying? Like get used to all of the different things the cards can do. There's a whole bunch of things I learned about Kareem from playing triple threat offline. I didn't know he was that fast. I'll give you guys a quick look. Like they say that his speed is a 55 speed with the ball, and I'm going to show you right now. There's just no way that that's true. Like literally no way that that's true. Yeah, triple threat online can give you diamond contracts. The only thing I'd say about triple threat online, me personally, I would only want to play triple threat online if I have good triple threat online cards. But some people will just go in and they don't care if they win or lose or if they're learning. They're just playing for fun. And in that situation, in that circumstance, then you can take whatever cards up there. But I definitely like to give myself the best possible chance to win. And there's only certain cards that so look how fast this fool is with the damn ball. Oh, hold on, let me get a better angle here. 12 seconds. Look at this. There's no way that's a 55 speed with ball. There's just no way in the blue hell that that's a 55 speed with ball. I don't know. Like, he has a 75 speed right now. He goes up to an 86 or an 87 speed. I think 86, which is unreasonably high. Like, that is absurd. That pisses me off that Lucius Allen just sagged off of him for no fucking reason. Yeah, this is a triple threat offline. So I just did this triple threat offline to show people how fast the Kareem card is, even at the second amethyst. So if you're using the Kareem card, the level that you want to get to is that second amethyst. That's what you're looking for. So that's another block for Kareem's Evo right there. I didn't even do anything. I just like watched it happen. So I'm not trying to score here with Giannis because he doesn't have an Evo. So that doesn't do anything for me. You see, I don't even have to call a play. I can literally just run past pink diamond Karl Malone with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, with amethyst Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, the card is so freaking fast. A 7-2 card that goes to an 86 speed. Like, I think that's worth your time. I don't know when it's going to get better than that, to be honest with you. No, Steve. No, Steve. You're not stripping Kareem. So yeah, and now keep in mind, even if the Kareem card was trash, he's one of my favorite players of all time. He's the first basketball player I ever actually liked. Like, he was in Bruce Lee movie, and then when I saw him play, he had these goggles and these gangly ass arms and a super move. It was like, what is going on? Who is this guy? And I was a little kid, and that's what got me into basketball, was the guy that was in my karate movies looking like Sagat fighting Bruce Lee. He played basketball. I was like, oh, what's basketball? You know what I mean? Like 5 years old. Like, what is a basketball? And Kareem is the first reason I actually watched basketball. So I was going to use Kareem Abdul-Jabbar any damn way. Oh, wait. So now Kareem's got the cheese badge on. So as soon as he feels like posting up, there we go. So many different tiers in this game. I don't know how you keep track of them all. I mean, it is a very big game, but the thing about this, and this is something I try to tell people about 2K, it's one game. So while there are different wrinkles in the game, it's still one game. And that's why, like, I get that's wide open, guys. That's this game mode. It took me a while to get used to what the game considers contested in this game mode is very different from Park and Rec Center. But it's still a global game. You know what I mean? It's still one game. So it's a situation where once you understand 2K as a game, you can understand all of the individual modes, just with little wrinkles that make them slightly different. You know, so how the AI behaves. Because when you play my team, there's a minimum of 2 AI players on your team at all times, and a minimum of 2 AI players on their team at all times. So you're in a situation where there's 4 AI players on the court. So that's going to make the game play a little differently. Just cook Karl Malone real quick. Oh, Karl! You got me. Now, y'all know Karl can't do that. Oh. I mean, Kareem is ridiculous, dude. Like, Kareem is impossible to guard. Kareem is... He might be the most singularly unguardable card in the game. The only thing is that it takes skill. So most people who use Kareem aren't going to play him in a way that he's totally unguardable. He's not like Giannis, where, like, Giannis literally you just fucking do this and you can score on 90% of the community, because most of the community is more concerned about buying packs and being in the auction market than they are about learning the cards. It's not as... The nature of the mode is not as competitive. And I'm not talking about the people, I'm just talking about the design of the mode itself. I'm so angry that Kareem helped, but I didn't put stay at home. So, like, for instance, I haven't checked out Giannis's walking between the legs dribble. So right there, I just got to look at it. It's a little on the slow side. It's not the greatest between the legs dribble. It doesn't really matter because it's Giannis, but it's just one of those things that's good to know. How much distance is created with this dribble move? How much distance is created with that dribble move? So even while I'm talking to you guys, there's little things I'm working on to, like, learn and figure out. Lucius Allen again just gave this fool the jumper. Slowest dunk animation in the history of dunk animations, but I will take it. So yeah, so you guys can see Kareem is super fast, and because he's fast, see, it's one thing if he just had the hook shot and the height. That would still leave him as a good card. But the thing that makes Kareem really outstanding is his athleticism. Like, Kareem, he's a skill card that's also dumb athletic for his size. So when you're playing in the post, especially once you get that mid-range jumper all the way up, you literally have every option in the post. I don't think any card can say that they have every option in the post. So he can hit you with a skill shot over either shoulder with the hook. You have to contest the hook at the top of the jump. So this means you have to sell out on it, which makes you susceptible to fakes. Then he also has the post spin to either side, really, really fast, this post launch. Then he has the step back for the jumper, and he can also dribble out of the step back from the post. Like, literally every tool in the book is available to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So he's just a phenomenal card, totally worth evoing. But yeah, that right there, that cost me no MT, and I made MT, and even though the vault didn't open, just casually going through it, I can easily just kind of win the game, not pay attention, learn a little about Giannis, get a little Evo on Kareem and Lucius Allen, and that's really how I do my Evos. I don't put any stress or thought into it until the Evo's almost done. Once the Evo is like 85-90% done, then I'll take a domination game and, you know, run the cheese play over and over to, like, get a card up. But I don't like playing the game in an unnatural way, and I don't like playing the game in a completely brain dead way. I prefer to always be learning a little bit of something. So like I said, when I first got in the game and I didn't have any Evo cards, I'm playing domination to Evo the cards up. But as soon as those cards are ready for prime time, now I'm playing domination, looking at my playbook. So I'm not using the Nets playbook now. I'm using the Rockets playbook, and I'm exploring one play at a time. Like, what are the wrinkles in this play? Okay, what if I take it early? What if I take it late? You know, what if I run it with Giannis as the one? Where's the spacing and all this other stuff? Like, and that's what makes me able to play against the computer without being bored, because I'm not just grinding. That's what makes me what allows me to evo cards without being bored, because I'm not just grinding, I'm learning, I'm actually growing as a player. And that makes this mode really, really fun for me, because on top of all of that, you have the auction market, which right now, since we're all here having fun together on this Christmas Eve, on this New Year's Eve, let's see what Odom's looking like. And again, I'm not going to buy this card. I just find it fascinating about this mode that a card this good, that's at the very, very, very top of the meta, would be one of the more affordable cards in the game. Because if I was like the overlord of the 2K economy, I would never let Odom go below buyout. Never. I would gatekeep this card behind 100K at all times. Oh, so people are snapping up those 50Ks now. Some people realize, some people have realized that he's gotten cheap. But people aren't really opening the packs yet, so that's going to come out. Again, I think he's probably going to go down into the 40s. So if you missed out on the 50K Odoms that were there, and he did drop to 50K when we started this stream up from 60K, I wouldn't be too upset about it, because I think he's going to pop out a lot in packs. And there's a lot of Odoms out there in the marketplace. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. People snap those up. Wow, even the 60Ks are gone. So Odom is hot in the streets. That's so interesting to me that people are really on top of that like that. Let me check my boy Eddie Johnson. Now, when I mention the meta cards in the game, I never talk about Eddie Johnson, and that's just my bad, because this card is pretty much every bit as good as Kobe and Paul George and the rest of those cards. He's 6'7". I've seen he has a really great release. He has a bunch of great animations. A little on the slow side for the company that he's keeping. Not slow. 85 speed is fine, and if you throw a shoe on him, problem solved. But that's probably his only flaw. You know, I mean, he could be a little bit better on defense compared to like Jimmy Butler's elite on defense. So I do think he's a slight notch down, but not enough of a notch. He still has, I think, gold clamps, range extender, all of these other really good badges, finishing badges, downhill, which helps a lot with his speed. Again, for review, downhill buffs your speed, and if you have over a 95 speed, downhill is basically a worthless badge. So the lower your speed is, the more downhill is affecting your character. It goes all the way up to, I think, a 33% at Hall of Fame. I think it's something like 29 or 28% speed increase. So I mean, my math isn't super great, but roughly a third of that 85% is about 27 speed. So he's basically a 99 speed in the open court, you know. So yeah, this card is just dynamite. That's probably why he feels faster than he actually is. This card is super dynamite, and I will definitely be looking to grab him if I make some NT from this Kareem pack in the short term. I'm so tempted to put Worthy up on quick bid, man, on buyout, but I'm gonna wait. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You said you meant card levels, blah blah. Well, Greg, the card levels are not important. The badges of the card are important. In fact, I think that's one of the biggest mistakes of the MyTeam community, is being fooled by card levels. So for instance, that Jamal Wilkes card, he's a diamond, so that puts him at the. Since there's almost no Galaxy Opals out there, that would mean he's the second best tier. He's not in the second best tier. James Worthy, he's a pink diamond. He's not one of the best cards in the game. He's good. He's way worse than the Diamond Lamar Odom, though. You know, he has a much high. Well, I wouldn't say a much higher rating. That's the other thing about the card ratings, is that it's like, you know, a 91 is an amethyst. I mean, a 93 is a 2 is an amethyst, and I think a 93 is a diamond. So the card color changes at one rating at a time. You know, so I don't care about the card ratings. In fact, I don't think I mentioned card ratings, card colors a whole lot, because it's just absolutely not an important thing for your decks. What's important are those badges. You know, so if you look at my if you look at my teams here, I arrange these teams by badges and animations. Badges, animations first, and then I would say ratings next, but the ratings that you're looking for are more about the athleticism ratings, like speed and stuff like that. Because, listen, if you had gold range extender and gold catch and shoot, and you have a 75 shot, you're only going to miss when you mistime the shots. You're not going to miss because your rating was too low. That's just simply never going to happen. So, you know, or because, you know, 2K's randomizer kicked in. But this game is not set up in a way like if you have a 99 shot and you shoot it perfectly every time you make every shot. But like, it's not like that. If you have over an 80 shot, you are going to make almost every open release that you time properly, right? In fact, I would say 75 is really where that starts. At 75, you're going to make like 75% of your wide open releases if you time it. What up, Jason Battle? Amuse? As you can see, the team is being built here. We're in really good shape with my Giannis primary squad. What's up, Ibby? Welcome to the chat. And my Kareem secondary squad. So I run Giannis in the first squad, and I run Kareem in the second squad, and that's basically two different first unit, second unit offensive concepts. So first unit, defense and shooting based around Giannis with a playmaker at the 1. Second unit, Kareem is the primary source of offense with another playmaker at the 1. Everybody else is about defense and shooting. So yeah, you know, when I'm looking at these cards, I'm looking. So for instance, Lonnie Walker, he's rated at 85, but I mean, if I was to make a list of the better, like if I took out Kobe and all of those guys, just the top 5 like swing cards, and you start looking at Amethyst and stuff like that, this guy can compete with so many Amethyst cards because of his insane. He's got the important badges, and just he's 6'5", not a terrible height, 85 3-point shot, which means the shot going in or not is on you, and he's got a 94 speed. A 94 speed. To have a 94 speed, his dunking ability and his shooting ability is just rare in the game. So that's the kind of stuff you're looking at, man. So honestly, the only reason I care about Pink Diamond Giannis over regular Giannis is he has the playmaking badges and he has the quick draw. Is arguably the most important badge in the game, especially for bigs. You know, if you have a big that can shoot, quick draw usually determines whether or not they're playable. The only exceptions are if the big has a naturally fast release, or if the big is either really, really tall and they have range extender. And it's not very common for a card to have range extender and not have quick draw. I think this Bielitsa card might be the only card. Did I take Bielitsa out? No, here he is. I think this Bielitsa card he's one of the few cards I've seen that has all of the shooting badges except for quick draw. But it really doesn't matter because he's tall. He's catching it from limitless range most of the time. And the cards, and the other thing about bigs that's really important to know as a shooter is that the cards that are closing out on you are slower most of the time. So if you have a slower card closing out on you, you don't need your release to be as fast, especially if they're closing out to limitless range. And that's why that range extender badge is so important, and it's kind of make or break, and why I prefer the 84 rated Sapphire Bielitsa over the 88 rated Ruby Bielitsa, which I also have, and I've played both of them, and the quick draw doesn't speed a shot up enough to make up for not having range extender. So it's really stuff like that, you know, like this Jamal Murray card. He's at 89, so he's right on the edge of Amethyst. Most people are going to look at that card color and say he's at 89. He can't be that good, but that's like literally he's on Amethyst. And a really important thing about these ratings is all of these ratings contribute to the overall, right? So when we say all of these ratings, we're talking about these mental ratings too. So unfortunately for him, he has a really high like offensive consistency and, you know, defensive consistency and stuff. Now, the defensive consistency is going to actually help you because the AI plays a lot of defense by itself. But like shot IQ, that's not going to help you at all. That's a completely irrelevant thing, and it's juicing him probably from like an 88 to an 89 or something like that. But who cares about that when you have a 91 3-point shot, a 90 ball handle, 87 speed, and what does he have, an 80 dunk? A 75 driving dunk. Like, that's excellent. And 75 is actually the marker. I learned this from playing my career. 75 is the point at which your character starts to dunk all the time. It's literally right there, right at 75. So if you have, you know, your coach or the characters in Takeover, that 75 might feel like damn near 85. Because the character is starting from a baseline of dunking all the time. 65 is when the character starts to dunk often. 75 is when the character can be relied upon to dunk in roughly every situation until their stamina starts to really go down. So this character can dunk, he can handle, he shoots the lights out. He doesn't just shoot okay, he shoots great, and he has an 82 perimeter defense. Outstanding card. And he's 6'4". Outstanding card. This card is way better than a whole bunch of amethyst cards, you know, and several diamonds too. He's way better than Diamond Jerry West. So the card colors are, it's just misdirection, man. It's really about badges and ratings and animations. Animations super important. If you have a card with great ball handle rating but terrible dribbles, the terrible dribble animations, the card's just not going to play well. And I say look no further than Isaiah Thomas, who for me is the absolutely most disappointing card in the entire game. They took one of the most fastest, quickest handle guards of all time, and they gave him the slowest, stupidest dribble animations that you could possibly give him. I think they actually did the same thing to Kyrie Irving. It's not as bad with Kyrie Irving, but it's still pretty bad. Kyrie Irving and Isaiah Thomas are in most people's top 5 for greatest dribbles of all time. Some might even say top 3. And both of them just got done dirty from the animation packages. And the sad part is there's no level of ratings and badges that can fix that. If you have bad animations, you have bad animations. Now, a lot of people in the MyTeam community don't dribble, so they're not gonna, you know, kill a card for that reason. But I do dribble, so it matters a lot to me if you have a terrible hesitation. That's the difference between a good card and a great card, or a mediocre card and a good card. That hesitation can literally be the thing that allows you to play the game mode. But yeah, this is my 86 rated team right now, and I think this is, you know, if you guys have any ideas for improving this team and keeping it at 86, let me know. But again, keeping in mind I'm going to replace Wally for either Evan Fournier or Nick Young. I'm going to Evo Iguodala so that he gets all of the handles and stuff. But I think this is a pretty strong 86 overall Pink Diamond Giannis squad. I'm really happy with it and looking forward to showing you guys some online play. So off of that, I'm going to shut it down and get my work day going. Make me some food I haven't eaten yet. Do a little intermittent fasting. Recover from the holiday season. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much. I see y'all hit that like button. I appreciate that very much as well. Let me know what you want to see from my team, but I will have constant videos for my updates, online play, and market watch. If there's anything you guys want to discuss, cards in the meta you're curious about, I'll be happy to take a deep dive into those cards or situations. And I've learned a lot. I just started playing this mode this year, and I think it's been about a month maybe. I've been playing this mode, and in just a short month, especially a busy work month for me, I've learned a ton about playing this mode, and I really, really like it. And as the end of the year comes up, we should all get together and start talking about ways that 2K can improve this mode, because I think long term, this is the mode that when Park and Rec Center are frustrating, you can always come here and control your fun, you know? And don't spend money. Don't open packs. There's no reason to. Until I got that Pink Diamond Giannis, my no money spent squad was way better than my At Me Bro squad. So grinding the mode is the best way to get your stuff up. So you guys have a fantastic holiday. I'm so glad that y'all all jumped in the chat. Jay, Ibby, Greg, Spack, got the glow. It's great to see you guys. Yeah, don't you can't consult. Yo, Jay Jones opens packs with his own hard-earned money and then plays terrible cards. He just has a self-hatred that he comes to this mode with. You know what I mean? Like, he comes to this mode to punish himself for something he did in a previous life. Because I can't imagine why you would spend money on packs and still find a way to play, you know, the Joakim Noahs and the... I mean, it's just sad. It's just sad. You know, we need to pick him up. when he knocks himself down. That's the way I look at it. We just need to be good friends, be homies, and support our brother in his time of insanity, playing some of them terrible cards while spending money on good cards. Yeah, we're gonna leave on that note. Don't spend money on packs and play terrible cards anyway.